morning, children. Welcome to day 5. Yesterday, we have discussed quite important topics. We have discussed about debtors, creditors, bill receivable, bills payable, depreciation, goods, stock, inventories, and many more. Today, the first topic that we should start, I'm thinking, is cost. You must be thinking, sir, cost is something that we know. So, without going into any kind of arguments that you know or you don't know and all that, let us go through what is the meaning of cost. So cost is the sacrifice that a buyer is ready against any benefit. It can be any benefit, it can be any asset. So things that you are ready to sacrifice to get something is called your cost. Next, important topic, discount. What is a discount? Discount is the reduction in price, or you can say obligation, that is called discount. Discount are of two types. One is cash discount and the other one is trade discount. So now we will discuss what is trade discount. So trade discount. Now what is a trade discount? Discount which is given by one trader to another trader. Generally the suppliers are giving this discount to the retailers so that they can make profit. I repeat, this trade discount is given only between two businessmen. The discount which has been given by one trader to another trader, generally you can say by a supplier to a wholesaler, or say by a wholesaler to a retailer, so that they can make profits. I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a pen and say the price of that pen is rupees 10. The price is rupees 10. And say there is a shopkeeper, right? There is a shopkeeper. If the shopkeeper will buy for rupees 10 and the MRP is also rupees 10, do you think any customer will pay more than rupees 10 for a pen? No one will pay. If the MRP is 10, all the customer will pay 10 only. So definitely he has to buy at a price which is less than rupees 10. Say for example rupees 9. So he is buying the pen for rupees 9 and he is selling it for 10 rupees. Okay, now this 1 rupee is the trade discount. Remember, this kind of discounts is not given to everybody. It is given by one trader to another trader, generally from the wholesaler to the retailer, so that they can earn some profit. And also remember one more very important thing. There is no entry in the accounts. It is not recorded in accounts. In the books of accounts, trade discount is never recorded. Alright, so next topic. So now cash discount. Now what is a cash discount? Cash discount is that discount which is given to encourage prompt payment. I repeat, cash discount is those discount which is given to encourage prompt payment. That means if you are paying someone some amount of money before time, then if the other person feels like, he can give you this cash discount. Okay, so cash discount is recorded. Since I have told you about trade discount that it is not recorded, please remember cash discount is recorded and is an expense for the business. Okay, so next topic that I am going to tell you is, so bad debt is the next topic. Now bad debt, when any debtor, well, remember that the spelling is bad debt, but the pronunciation is bad debt. B is again silent over here. When any debtor says or declares his inability to pay, that is our bad debt. So when any person, when any debtor is unable to pay and is declaring it and we are accepting it, it is called a bad debt. Next topic, insolvent. Please remember that bad debt is a loss for our business. Bad debt is a loss for our business. Next topic for the discussion is insolvent. What is an insolvent? The other words for, or you can say synonyms for insolvent is bankrupt, bankrupt or bankruptcy, and many other words are there. Okay. So what is insolvency or what is bankruptcy or what is bankrupt? Bankrupt is basically a position when your liabilities is more and your asset is less. A position something like this, wherein you have got more liability to pay than the asset that you have. Okay, your liabilities is quite more and quite higher, and your assets are very less to pay off your liability. This is basically what had happened with Mr. Anil Ambani. Yes, Mukesh Ambani's brother, younger brother, Anil Ambani. He became bankrupt. His assets all went away. Right? So, what is insolvency? Insolvency is a position wherein your liabilities is more and your assets are very less. In Hindi, it is called दिवाला निकल जाना या दिवालिया, ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं, दिवाला or दिवालिया, something like this. So insolvency or bankruptcy is the position when your liabilities are quite more and your assets are less, and you are not being able to pay. But don't think that you will on your own you will say and anybody will, you know, will admit you to be a bankrupt. No, it's not like that. You have to go to the court. You have to go to a court, and in that court only you have to file your bankruptcy or your insolvency case, and then court will decide. They will investigate, right, with their own ways and methods. They will investigate, and after investigation then they will finally say whether somebody has become bankrupt or somebody has become insolvent or not. All right, so next topic. So now, stores. What is a store? Or you can say stores. You must be thinking, sir, store is such a common word. We all know the meaning of stores, but it is not like that. Okay, store. What is a store? Do you understand that there are many type of production, there are many type of activities or many types of business organizations or many type of business operations wherein you have to apply some materials, right? Like for example, say if you are a say garments company, if you are a garments company, then uh, maybe that button, or you can say threads, or you can say those zips, and many other materials are used to stitch clothes. Similarly, if it is a electrical or electronics manufacturing shop or maybe a company, then there are many other uh, materials that is used. Basically, those extra wires, or you can say those cables. Say in case those soldering, I don't know the spelling of soldering properly. That soldering by which one or two equipments or wires are connected and they are type of welding, soldering, huh? Or you can say many other, say in case of automobiles, those lubricants, or you can say those grease or something like that. These things, whenever a businessman buys this, they don't offer it for sale. Understood? Unless and until you go to a shop where buttons are sold, generally a tailor will not sell buttons. A tailor will stitch the clothes, right? Similarly, an electronic shop, if you go to buy a TV or a refrigerator or something like that, or a factory wherein these things are produced, you will not be able to get these wires and cables and soldering things from them. Similarly, from a garage, if you go to say a showroom or a workshop, you will not be getting these grease or those lubricant that they use for doing the job. These things which are not there for the sale, these things are called stores. I repeat, these things are called stores, and it is a part of the inventory which I have just now explained in the last class. That is yesterday, which I have explained you that inventory over there it gets included. Okay, so this is called stores. Or one more thing is there, that is called spare. Many places you will find some other things are also there, maybe some spare parts are there. So what I was telling you, say for example a garment company, they are having this buttons and threads and zips and all that thing that is over there for the use purpose, they don't sell it. Similarly, this electronics shop or electronic factory, wires, cables, soldering, those jacks and other things, many things are there. Similarly, for a automobile company, maybe lubricants and paints and other things. These things they are not buying for the purpose of selling, but they are using it for the way, in a way, so that their work can be done. Now these things are called stores. Some people also call it as spares. All right. Next topic. Perhaps this is the last topic for this chapter. Very important topic. Okay. We have found that many students are not being able to answer to this topic whenever we ask them any questions. The topic is contingent liability. Actually, this topic, why it is so important for you to know, so that you have that awareness thing. In my previous videos, I have explained you the meaning of liability. Liability is something that for any reason, if you have to pay money in future, that is your liability. Very good. So what is the meaning of liability? For any reason, if you have to pay money in future, that is called your liability. And I told you also that there are two things that is known in a liability. Okay, there are two things that is known in a liability, that is why it is called a liability. Number one is amount, how much amount you have to pay, how much money you have to pay, that is known to you. And Second that you know is when you have to pay. That means the time. So what amount you have to pay and when you have to pay, this is known and it is called to be a liability. Now contingent liability is that where amount is also not known and when you have to pay, that also you don't know, and it is called a contingent liability. You must be thinking, sir, how it is possible? Yes, it is possible. There are many examples. I'll tell you. Come over, listen. Suppose there is a court case. Somebody has sued upon us. Okay. Someone has filed a case upon us. Someone has sued us on in the court of law. Say there is a claim for some damages, which the court is there, the case is there, but right now the judgment has not come. Okay, there is no judgment. Whether we are losing or we are winning, there is no judgment as of this sort. If we lose, then we may have to pay some compensation. This is what might happen. Now this is something which is important and some vital information that somebody has given us, has sued upon us. Now see, in this kind of scenario, amount you don't know. Do you know the amount? Because how much compensation will the judge give us to pay that person, that we don't know. How much fine will be imposed on us, we don't know. So amount is not known. And when the judgment will come, that is also not known. We have seen so many real life examples. Also in movies we have seen that in court the case keeps on elongated and elongated, keeps on extended and extended, and that judgment comes after a very long time. In real world also it happens, in movies and serials also we have seen this. So we have a quite a good idea about this thing, that time, it is a time consuming process, right? Another example is, say, like bank guarantee. Bank guarantee. Now what is a bank guarantee? I am Anwar sir, you all know me by now. Suppose I went to take a loan from a bank. Suppose I went to take a loan from the bank, and the bank has told that bring a guarantor. Bank has told bring a guarantor, and I told you, beta, please come and give guarantee, or maybe I have requested your anyone from your house, maybe your daddy, I have requested your daddy, or say my friend, okay, that please give guarantee for me in the bank. Now what happens over here in the bank guarantee? It happens like, if I don't pay, that means if, say, Anwar sir doesn't pay, then the person who has given the guarantee will have to pay. Now see, in this scenario also, amount is not known to you. How much money I have paid and how much money I have not paid, that is not known to anyone. Understood? If I have taken a loan and you are the guarantor of that loan, then whatever portion of money I have not paid, that you have to pay. So that is something which you cannot know. Similarly, time is also not known to you. When I will stop paying, that also you don't know. Isn't it? You don't know. Next example can be, say, warranties and guarantees. We are buying so many electrical and electronic goods. We are buying so many things which is there in warranty, and the company produces so many things and in such a huge quantity, right? And all those products are covered under warranty for 1 year warranty, 2 year warranty. In certain things you may take extended warranty, and that warranty gets extended, and blah blah, so many things are there. But do you think, suppose if you know there are 10% who are owning or owing iPhones, do you think how many iPhones get into problem and there is a warranty requirement? they go to the service center? Very few, hardly anyone. Okay, so for a company, this is a contingent liability, right? These are commitments basically. So contingent liability is basically not a real liability, but it is a liability which may happen on the happening of a certain event in future. I repeat, contingent liability is not a real liability. It is a liability that may happen or that may occur on the happening of a certain event in future, which depends upon a future event. Examples I've already told you. The main important thing I've told you, that amount is also not known and time is also not known, that what amount we have to pay and when we have to pay. And I've given you as of now 3 examples. I hope by this this topic is clear. So now comes very important thing. In this week I have taught you all 5 days, 5 classes has been given to you. So many extra and so many topics has been covered. I've tried at my level best to cover up all your areas which as a student you must be having the problems. If in case you still have some problem, then please feel free to contact to the teachers. All the email IDs of the teachers are given over there in the website. I have given you worksheets every day. All these worksheets must be prepared by you all. You all must be you all should be fulfilling and completing those worksheets and sending it to the teachers according to your sections. If not, you can send it to anyone of your choice. And then I request you all, if you have not understood any topic, then please go to the video again and see it again. And if again you don't understand, then you are always free to contact to the respective teacher, or you can contact to me also. So with this note, I would now take your permission to end this video, and stay safe, study well, see you in the school. Thank you.